Hi everybody, this is Code Chris, and press the like, subscribe, all that jazz. I want to talk about companies and businesses, whether you're looking at investing in them, working for them, or just in general, what I see as the future of businesses that are going to make it in the long run, that are going to last. The pandemic has offered us a great opportunity to really kind of test the waters on new business ideas, ways to adapt to a changing marketplace, to new customer practices, just new ways of thinking moving forward. And I wanted to discuss a little bit about, based on my experience, my opinion, and just what I've seen and what I think is going to happen, give some helpful insights. Here we go. So let's just point one thing out right away. The future is virtual. Any company that is still lingering on to this idea of when things go back to normal, when business is back to usual, all that kind of stuff, that it's different. It's going to be different, okay? That is short-term thinking because people's practices, ideas, expectations, they're just different. They're going to be different moving forward, right? The investors are expecting things different. The customer's mindset is different. I had a conversation with my brother where he was just talking about, yeah, man, like it's just kind of really nice just having food delivered. Like it's just kind of nice now. It's just kind of the our general interactions with companies and what was the norm, what was socially normal or acceptable, is different, and it's going to be different moving forward. And if you are a company or investing in a company, working for a company, or looking to work for a company that still has this old dinosaur, outdated mentality about, like, oh, well, yeah, but you know, it's been like this before in the past. Like, this is just how the market is. We know business. We've been in business for 30 years, for the last whatever, 30, 20 years, and we know what we're doing, whatever. That's very short-term thinking, and it's not really going to give you any real growth. In my opinion, that's definitely the way I see quite a number of people, companies, and employers expecting things to go back to. So, the future is digital. Let's get into some of the more specifics. First of all, remote work is here. Okay, remote work is the non monetary advantage that new companies or even companies that were struggling before can offer their employees that will give them a huge advantage over their competition. Okay, we just had a huge experiment where a lot of companies, the remote worked just fine. It's one thing if you want to go into the office, right? It's one thing if you want to get away from your house, or you like that environment. That's different, right? But when you're forcing people to come back into the office because of collaboration, because of all, like that just doesn't work anymore. Okay, especially in the developer world. I mean, we we don't collaborate with each other, like on each other's computers all the time. Like, that's just not how it works. Most of the time we'd be in the same building, and we would be communicating to each other via Slack or uh, Skype, Microsoft, whatever chat you want to use, right? We're using all these IMs to communicate with one another, or actually doing a video call, recording audio, whatever, right? And then you have, especially now, there's all these ways of just sharing your code. It's just far more efficient than walking to somebody's desk. Okay, anybody who's telling you that you need to walk to somebody's desk, because yeah, go to your higher up, go to their desk, because they're not busy, right? It just it's old thinking. It's an old worldview. The future is virtual. Like, it's time to get with the times. Okay, if you're trying to force employees back, you are risking one of the number one things that the younger generation, myself included, um, we are willing to take a pay cut for remote work, for flexibility. These are non monetary things that you could offer your employees to make them happier, better and more efficient at their work, and it will give you an advantage over your competition, who is going the old school way of thinking that a building is really what makes the difference between the winners and losers, because the rent you're paying on that building, it's a lot cheaper when everybody's working from their house, and you don't need that building. The younger generation is more interested in a work life balance, right? And that means providing flexibility. If you're a company that's not going to offer flexibility to your employees and you think the best time for everybody to work is 9 to 5, you're outdated already, right? Some people are like me. We're early birds. We work and do our best stuff in the morning time. Some people are night owls. They do their best stuff late at night. Instead of doing a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or just these arbitrary middle of the day, same time as everybody else, um, traditional work hours, how about instead you have it results driven, or you have it project driven, you have it, or you just have these certain expectations of, for crying out loud, we do things like sprints and the agile workflow, right? Because we love all the buzzwords for the agile workflow and sprints and all that jazz. So you have these things, yet the expectation is still that this is when you should work. In reality, who cares when you work? Your employer should only care that you produce whatever it is they need you to produce. And this goes if you're investing in a company. If you can find out or do find out that a company, it it depends on the field, obviously, but especially in software and especially in programming, coding, web development, all that stuff. Come on, get out of here! Like that makes no sense. Like nobody, the vast majority of us, do not work our best 9 to 5 inside a building. Just saying. Just saying. And if you're not willing to adapt, there's a lot of businesses that are not willing to adapt. So, for example, during the pandemic, it's clear that virtual meetings were going to be a thing. They're going to be a new thing, right? And there were two types of companies, right? There's the companies that thought of virtual meetings, that is really hard to sell. It is hard to sell um, on a virtual meeting. It's not like person to person, which, by the way, I can agree with. And then you're trying to pitch, and they've got you. They've got their screen hidden. It's hard to see them, and you're trying to pitch, and it's so hard. When this thing is over, people don't want that. No, 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 no. Instead, we're gonna invest in, you know we're gonna invest extra hard in planes, and maybe we'll get a private jet, full-time uh uh full-time pilot, because we can fly there, and that's what we want. We want to occupy their time. And in reality, guess what? People kind of like the virtual meetings. If you're trying to pitch me something, I like the virtual meeting, because if I'm getting multiple bids, I don't want to have to sit down and, okay, cool, great, fantastic, cool. Let me kick you out. There's a whole thing. Wait, we got to go out to dinner. You got to talk with me. Okay, you're going to give me your pitch. What if I don't like your pitch? What if I just want to be done with it? I want to go, I'm a busy company and you're trying to pitch me your stuff, but now I have to dedicate extra. No, 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 no. The thing is that virtual meetings, companies kind of like the fact that, hey, well, listen, you've got between this time and this time, and then I've got another meeting afterwards, right? Or I can at least say I got another meeting I got to run to, right? Whatever excuse it is. Face to face, person to person, you've kind of locked me down as the potential customer. I don't like being tied down. I don't like being locked into, what's best for you, the salesman, because I know you're trying to sell me something. I'm another company and I am successful enough to recognize when I'm trying to be sold on something. And if your stuff's good, we're going to buy it. If we're not interested, if your pitch isn't good, if it's whatever, and if you can't adapt to the times of virtual meetings, I don't know how you're really going to be a good technology company for us to invest in or be utilizing. That doesn't sound like somebody that really I want to work with. So if you can do what's convenient for me and what works for me, then we'll talk. But if you're not willing to adapt with the times, sorry. Yeah, yeah. And if you're investing in old technology, right? It's like doubling down on like gas cars when on the future horizon clearly electric vehicles are the direction. I mean, at least go in the direction of a hybrid, like think about where the trajectory of the future is going and not just what's convenient for you as the seller. So, anyways, if a company's not willing to adapt, yeah, they're not gonna make it. So another thing is simply investing in your employees. If you're a company and you genuinely believe that your employees are really the source of profit and revenue for your company so that you can reinvest those profits, grow the company, build more business, advertising, marketing, what all that stuff, right? Then you have to want to invest in your employees. And that, once again, that isn't necessarily have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be monetary. Um, but it can be education. It can be access to some online education tools, some online products. Um, whether it be access to free courses, or if they find a conference, maybe pay for their conference, right? These are little things that, yeah, listen, you can make a pizza party, right? Pizza parties are great, but I think the employee be really appreciative if you show like, hey, listen, instead of giving you guys a giant pizza party, listen, we've got you access to this course, and or here's X amount of dollars. You guys can spend it on, something like Udemy. For crying out loud, Udemy is always doing like these $10, $20 sales or whatever. So here's $50 to go towards Udemy. And it's surprising how much a gift card can actually feel like significantly more than it is, right? $30 in gift cards is it feels very different than $30 worth of a pizza or meal or one time special lunch, right? Something to think about if you're a company. And if you're investing in a company, then you also want to think about, hey, how do these guys treat their employees? Are they companies that don't really want to invest in their employees? Do they have a high turnover rate? Are people being let go in waves at a time, hired in waves at a time? And there's some places where, those are red flags when you're going in. And I mean, that's just yeah. So, anyways, invest in your employees. It's a good sign that you care about them and it makes your employees happy. And of course, if you're investing in them, then they will return that profit back to you, right? They'll return that value that you've invested in them back to you. And if your fear is that they'll leave you by investing in your employee, that they'll leave you, then you have a bigger problem. And the problem isn't that you're investing in them. The problem is that they frankly don't want to be there and work for you. And you should probably find out why. Now, this might be a little bit controversial, but in my opinion, I'm looking for companies that are looking to grow, right? And they're trying to do something different, right? They're not just following the same trotted formula from everybody else about how to run a business, right? They're following the same thing of like, oh, okay, we're going to go the old fashioned route and we're going to advertise on billboards and we'll do a radio ad and we'll do TV because, cord cutting's not a thing. And everybody remembers billboards. And the radio, oh, that's still a hot jam right now. No, 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 no. You want somebody who's willing to start taking a little bit of a gamble, right? Not being reckless, but a little bit of a gamble with something that's more interesting, right? They're willing to try something different because, like a stock portfolio, right? And this is, you can get into whatever you want, right? But usually there's at least every portfolio has a little bit of something, a little bit of speculation, right? Because if that one item hits, it can hit big, right? And you can also learn a lot from a little bit of speculation, right? A little bit of gambling, for lack of a better term. I wouldn't even want to call it gambling. Let's call it instead strategic risk. Okay, because if your company doesn't allow for just that little bit of opportunity to present itself, then the possibility for major growth just isn't there. Now, I am of the thinking that the new generation of entrepreneurs, the new generation of businesses, and those that are currently present that are willing to do all these things that I mentioned, remote work, flexibility, willing to adapt to a changing market, invest in their employees, and they're not opposed to a little bit of risk, those are the companies that are going to have some growth. Those are the companies that you want to be working for, that you want to be investing in. Those are the ones who are looking at the trajectory of the future and are going to make it. So, with all that being said, I hope this has been fun, educational, entertaining to you guys. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, what I got wrong, what I got right, what you agree with, what you don't, whatever it is. Comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I think I've said that like 5 or 4 times now. So, yeah, if you haven't done it yet, press the like button already so that I can, turn out more content. Thank you. Bye bye.